Have you ever walked into a room and, like, felt the energy? You know, good vibes or bad vibes. It's almost like we can sense something beyond the physical, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's actually a question that's fascinated people for centuries.
So today we're diving into the world of auras and electromagnetic fields
Oh, cool.
to see if maybe there's a scientific explanation for this.
Okay, sounds good.
You often hear about auras in spiritual or mystical contexts,
Right, yeah.
but our bodies actually do generate measurable electromagnetic fields.
Exactly. It's kind of a place where science and spirituality sort of intersect.
So, like, how do electromagnetic fields work? I kind of forget the physics behind that.
Well, think of it this way. Anytime you've got electrical charges in motion, like you create a magnetic field. And our bodies, full of electrical activity.
Yeah, true.
Our hearts pump blood, our brains fire neurons.
It's all electrical.
All electrical.
So we're basically like walking magnets?
Yeah, you could say that.
Is one organ like more magnetic than others?
You know, some organs generate stronger fields than others. The heart, for example, has a really powerful electromagnetic field.
Really? I would have thought it'd be the brain.
It's surprising, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about it, I mean, the heart, that's a powerful muscle.
Yeah, that's true.
It's constantly contracting, pumping blood throughout the body.
Okay, that makes sense.
All that electrical activity. It generates a strong magnetic field.
So how strong are we talking?
It can be detected several feet away from the body, actually.
Wow. Seriously?
Yeah.
Didn't the military, like, develop a laser or something that could detect a heartbeat from a distance?
You're right. It uses this exact field.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Shows how strong and far-reaching the heart's field is. But there's something even more interesting. This field. It isn't just like a byproduct of the physical activity of the heart.
Oh, okay. What else is there?
Well, it seems to carry information about our emotional state.
Wait, so you're saying, like, my heart is broadcasting my feelings?
There's research that actually suggests that. The HeartMath Institute, they've done some fascinating work looking at this connection.
Oh, wow. Tell me more about that.
They found that the pattern of the heart's electrical activity, which creates its electromagnetic field, changes depending on our emotions.
Okay, so, like, if I'm feeling stressed,
Yes.
my heart field is going to look different than if I'm feeling, I don't know, like, joyful.
Exactly.
So this makes me think about those times when, you know, like, you walk into a room and you can, like, sense the tension, or you feel a wave of calm.
Right.
Could that be us picking up on these, like, subtle changes in people's heart fields?
It's a really compelling possibility.
Yeah.
And we're really only just beginning to understand how these fields work, how they influence our interactions.
And that leads us to the question of, you know, are we actually talking about auras here? Like, is this measurable electromagnetic field around the heart, is that connected to this idea of auras?
Well, you know, I think one way to think about it is that auras, as they've been traditionally understood, right? They could be a way of describing or even visualizing these electromagnetic fields that we can now actually measure with scientific instruments.
Okay, that's interesting. So, like, are you saying that we're starting to find the scientific basis for something that, you know, people have intuited for centuries?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Wow. So what about the brain? Because the brain, I mean, obviously the brain has electrical activity too, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a hub of electrical activity.
Billions of neurons firing.
Yeah, constantly communicating.
So does the brain have its own, like, aura or field? Or is it totally separate from the heart thing?
You know, it's interesting to consider because, like, the heart's field, the brain's field, it's dynamic, constantly changing. And some researchers actually believe it could be a key to understanding consciousness itself.
Hold on. Are you suggesting that our consciousness, like who we are, is somehow encoded in our brain's electromagnetic field?
That's one of the theories out there.
Wow. That's pretty mind-blowing.
Right. The idea that our thoughts, our emotions, even our sense of self
Yeah.
could be tied to this invisible field of energy that our brain generates.
That is deep.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got these two powerful generators in our bodies, the heart and the brain, and they both have these fields that seem to carry information about what's going on inside of us.
That's right.
Does that mean that our auras, if they exist, are some kind of, like, combination of these two fields?
It's possible. Think of it like each organ contributes its own, you know, little song to the overall symphony of our electromagnetic field.
Okay, I like that.
Like the heart's field, maybe that carries the rhythm of our emotions. While the brain's field, that holds the melody of our thoughts and our intentions.
I love that analogy.
Right.
But if these fields are so subtle,
Yeah.
how could we possibly perceive them? It's not like we can see magnetic fields with our eyes.
That's true, but what if we have other ways of sensing them?
Okay, what do you mean?
Think about animals that can navigate using Earth's magnetic field. Or sharks. They can detect electrical signals from their prey.
That's right.
So we might have similar, maybe less developed sensory capabilities
Interesting.
that allow us to pick up on these subtle energy fields too.
So maybe we're not like seeing auras literally, but sensing them through like some other mechanism.
Yeah, maybe something we don't fully understand yet.
Right, exactly. And maybe that's why some people are more sensitive to like vibes or energy than others.
Could be, could be. Like maybe they just have a more finely tuned ability to perceive these subtle electromagnetic signals.
It's like it makes me rethink my whole understanding of like intuition and perception.
Right.
What if we're picking up on way more information than we realize?
Totally. Just like below our conscious awareness.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we've talked about the heart's electromagnetic field, how it might connect to the idea of auras. But you mentioned Kirlian photography in the notes too. Does that have anything to do with like measuring these fields?
Yeah, Kirlian photography. It's a technique that captures images of the corona discharge around objects, including living things.
Okay, so explain what that means.
So it creates these like really beautiful pictures, almost mystical looking.
So are those pictures actually showing a person's aura?
Well, that's where the debate comes in. It's a real phenomenon, what Kirlian photography captures. But most scientists think it's mainly caused by the electrical interaction between the object and the photographic plate.
So it's not necessarily showing an aura in the spiritual sense.
Exactly. But it does show us that our bodies, they have an electrical presence, one that extends beyond our physical form. And it raises the question of whether these fields, can be influenced by our internal state, like our thoughts and emotions.
So like if our emotions can change the patterns of our heart's electromagnetic field, is it possible to, I don't know, intentionally influence our overall electromagnetic field? Like could we make those good vibes stronger?
That's the big question, isn't it? And it's something researchers are looking into. There's more and more evidence to suggest that certain practices might actually have a positive impact on our electromagnetic fields.
Oh, like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, well, things like meditation,
Hmm.
mindfulness,
Okay.
and heart-focused breathing.
Okay. Yeah.
They've all been shown to promote what's called emotional coherence.
Emotional coherence. What does that mean?
So basically, your heart rhythm, it becomes more smooth and ordered,
Okay.
and that seems to create a more organized and harmonious electromagnetic field.
So basically calming the mind, cultivating positive emotions, that can actually lead to a more, I don't know, radiant and powerful electromagnetic presence.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just about us either. Like, it could have a ripple effect
What do you mean?
on our own well-being, sure, but also on those around us. Like, think of it this way. We're all swimming in this sea of invisible energy.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
And our individual fields, they're constantly interacting and influencing each other.
This is blowing my mind.
Heart-centered energy. Like, one example is something called heart lock-in.
Heart lock-in. What's that?
It's a technique developed by the Heart Math Institute. It's actually pretty simple.
Okay.
You focus your attention on your heart area and like really cultivate feelings of appreciation, gratitude, compassion, stuff like that.
So you're basically shifting your focus to positive emotions.
Exactly. And holding them there.
Yeah.
And that creates a more coherent heart rhythm.
Which then affects your electromagnetic field.
Right. So it's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about like intentionally creating that shift.
In your energy.
In your energy, yeah. And that can have a ripple effect on everything. Your
Yeah.
thoughts, your behaviors, how you interact with other people.
This is really fascinating stuff. Honestly, I'm starting to feel a little more tuned into my own energy just thinking about it.
I love that. It's amazing how like just becoming aware of these things can shift your whole experience. And I think as we learn more about these fields and how they work and how we can influence them, it's going to open up so many possibilities for healing, for growth, for like really connecting with each other.
This has been an amazing deep dive. I feel like we could talk about this for like hours.
We've just scratched the surface for sure.
But even with just what we've talked about today, it's clear that we are way more than just our physical bodies.
Absolutely. We're beings of energy connected in ways we're only beginning to understand.
Thanks for like taking us on this journey. It's been electrifying.
My pleasure. And to our listeners, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep tuning in to your own energy. Maybe we'll all be seeing auras soon.
Maybe, maybe.
Hmm.
But even if we don't, just knowing that we are literally beings of light and energy, that's pretty amazing. Until next time, keep those good vibes flowing.